All right, everybody. So I think we're live now, and this is our PiYo pre-launch chat that we're doing. My name's Ryan Chapman. I'm an elite coach with Team Beachbody, and I've got a couple other elite coaches with Team Beachbody on too. I've got Dennis Fowler, who's an elite coach and multiple star diamond, as well as his wife, Julie Fowler. You guys can say hi real quick.
Hello.
All right, so what we're going to do for you guys is I've taken in a whole bunch of questions in our PiYo group, and Dennis and Julie are going to help me answer those questions for you. Now, we've got a couple of event pages around that you may have found this chat through. There's one on Facebook. There's also one on Google+. And then there's the YouTube channel that you might be watching this live through. So if you want to ask us questions while we're going through the chat, go ahead and type those into either that Facebook event page or the Google+ event page, and I'll go check those out after we've answered all the questions that I've already got written down here for us to answer. We've got a lot to go through, ton of questions. We want to tell a little bit about our stories and what happened to us during PiYo and what we liked about it and things like that as we go. If you don't know what PiYo is, if you're just on this and somehow randomly found this chat or something like that, or someone invited you to it and you're checking it out and you're not really sure, PiYo is the new program coming out from Beachbody, the creators of P90X, Insanity, Shakeology, Turbo Fire, Turbo Jam, Les Mills Combat, Pump. We got tons of programs. Some of them you've probably heard of. So PiYo is created by Chalene Johnson, who also did Turbo Jam, Turbo Fire, Chalene Extreme, and a couple other programs. And it is sort of a fusion of Pilates and yoga, not 100%. There's a bunch of other stuff in there. You're going to get some endurance and cardio things in there, so it's not all Pilates and yoga, but there's a lot of Pilates and yoga inspired moves in it. It's super, super low impact, which compared to a lot of other programs that are as intense as PiYo is and can get you the results that I got and that you could get out of PiYo, it's so easy on your body, and that's one of the things that I loved about it during the test group. I personally lost 13.8 pounds, almost 14 pounds in the test group. That's an 8-week program. They're calling it a 60-day program. I lost 13.8 pounds, 10.5 inches, and I feel amazing. I love it. I'm more flexible than I've ever been, and it's going to be a big part of my fitness going forward from here. And I've been a T25, Insanity, P90X, and triathlon type of guy. So I've been doing Ironmans and half Ironmans and then mixing in high intensity stuff like P90X and Insanity. And I thought, when I got to this program, I thought, they asked me to be in the test group, and I was kind of like, yeah, all right, I'll be in the test group. I don't mind, but not really my thing, and now I'm in love with it. So I'm going to turn it over to Dennis and Julie just for a second. If you guys want to just kind of tell the same kind of things about what happened to you in the test group, like, how much you lost, what you liked about it, just general stuff. And I didn't even really prepare you that I was going to do that, but you guys are cool, so go for it.
That's okay. I lost actually 6 pounds and 10.5 inches. Which for me is very good. I'm 5'11", so I'm pretty tall and pretty stretched out. So any inch loss for me is huge, I feel, because I've been kind of the same weight for quite a while now. And it was the thing with PiYo that I really liked is I might be a little different than most other people who were in the test group, in that I was not like Insanity, no thank you, T25, not a big fan. I was looking forward to PiYo because it was a little bit lower intensity. I have knee issues, and I really do like Pilates and yoga. So I wasn't coming into it thinking, I might not like this. I was thinking that I would love it, and I did. I loved that it was low intensity. I loved that it improved flexibility. I like to do a lot of things like I've been working on handstands and different, I like to do gymnastic type things, and it's really improved that. But it was kind of interesting to do it with Dennis because he's more of the body beast, P90X kind of guy, and I was not 100% sure what it would be like to do yoga behind him or with him. So.
And with me, I've lost 100 pounds with Beachbody products, P90X and Shakeology. I've done Insanity. I've done T25. I've done P90X2. I've done P90X3. And Ryan, I had the same, idea about this program whenever I first got started. How, wow, this thing was gonna. Honestly, I thought it was gonna be like something really, really girly. And no offense to you ladies out there, but I love a challenge. I'm not looking to do something easy, and so I really had that mindset and that idea that this program was going to be super simple. I wasn't going to get anything with it, but even after losing 100 pounds, I have never felt better than after doing this program for 60 days. I mean, having never picked up a weight for 60 days, I am stronger. I'm way more flexible. My stomach has never looked as trim. It is amazing, and I really ate my words. She proved me wrong, Chalene.
Yes, and I'll tell you one of the things that I was skeptical about is, so I've done Turbo Fire probably twice, 2 workouts, not through Turbo Fire twice, 2 workouts, and Turbo Fire is very fast paced. It's on the music, and from that I basically took that I'm not going to like Chalene Johnson. This is on YouTube now, so she might see that. But I changed my mind about Chalene Johnson in this workout program because that was one of the things that was the most amazing to me about the workout program was the way she makes you feel in workouts, in these PiYo workouts, the things that she says at the right time, and her motivational skills are amazing. I mean, you just feel like $1 million because she's an amazing motivator, an amazing trainer, and I just absolutely love Chalene Johnson now. So, yeah, I'm completely turned around from what I thought I was going to get out of this program. I'm like, this is amazing, and I love this program, and I'm going to integrate it with my triathlon training now, and I'm going to be doing PiYo. I mean, we finished the test group, over a week and a half ago, and I've still been doing PiYo because I love it. I just did buns last night, and that's one of my favorites, man. You get your butt kicked literally by that workout, so awesome.
In that booty.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So let's go with some of these questions here. I want to start with the nutrition questions, and the reason I'm starting with the nutrition questions is because, especially like after I posted my pictures out on Facebook, there's half-naked pictures of me in spandex all over the internet now, and when I posted those, one person messaged me and they said, hey, I watch you on MyFitnessPal, and I know that you take care of your nutrition, and you have been for the last 8 weeks, and you really need to tell people that when you're posting these PiYo pictures, because it's not all from PiYo, it's from nutrition too. And I explained to them that the nutrition was with the PiYo program. The PiYo program's not just workouts, right? It's got a full nutrition program with it. And I followed the nutrition program. Well, I'll say this. I followed the nutrition program exactly for the first week and a half to 2 weeks. And then I didn't really measure it perfectly because you kind of get used to the variety of things that you need to eat to follow the plan, and I've done healthy eating like that many times before. So then I just basically was in healthy eating mode, but I was following the nutrition plan that comes with PiYo, which really gets you into that mode. So a couple people asked, one person asked, the 2 questions I want to cover right now. What is the nutrition plan like, which is fairly broad, and I'll give you as much as I can, and we'll get Dennis and Julie to give their take. And then, do you have to drink Shakeology while doing PiYo? Okay, so let's start with what the nutrition plan is like. The nutrition plan, basically you do a calculation at the beginning based on your vitals, your height and weights and stuff like that. You go through a calculation, and it puts you into one of, Dennis and Julie, if you can remember, is it 4 categories, I think? There's like an A, B, C, D, something like that, okay? And remember, we're talking about what's in the test group, and what they actually put out in the actual program. It may have different names for it, A, B, C, D. So I'm not going to give you too much on those details because they put out a test group pilot type thing for us. But you get put into an A, B, C, or D category based on a calorie range. So based on your calculation, you're going to get set in one of those calorie ranges. Each one of those groups, that calorie range, tells you how many of each category of food to eat every day. And so you have categories like proteins, primary vegetables, secondary vegetables, and grains. And help me out here, guys. Dairy? We've got a couple of different categories. I probably can't tell you all of them, or I'm not supposed to give you too many details anyway. But basically what they have there is a list of foods for each of those categories. And what you're going to get is, if you're in, say, level C and your calorie range is from 1,800 to 2,200 calories, it's going to tell you you get 4 servings or 6 servings of protein a day, and you get 6 servings of vegetables a day, and you get 3 servings of secondary vegetables and grains a day, and you get this many servings of dairy and this many servings. And all those lists are in the nutrition plan for you. So all you have to do is pick foods off those lists and eat the right number of portions, basically. So that's how simple the nutrition plan is. I don't know if you guys want to add anything to that.
I was just going to say that, like you said, it is so simple that after following it for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, those first 2 weeks I was picking it up a lot and looking at it and making sure. But after, a while, you can go out to eat, you can grab something on the go, and you know exactly what you need for that meal or how much you can have. So it's really, really simple. We eat out a lot, and we were able to do it just fine on this plan. It was no big deal. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, once you get kind of the hang of it, I think even when I eat healthy, I think I didn't eat as many primary vegetables as what the plan calls for in my particular level. And so that's all I had to adjust to really at the beginning. Was I was like, oh man, I need to take that grain or that extra protein out that I've been eating and replace it with a primary vegetable, and then I'll be on plan. And once I figured that out, you kind of know as you go through the day, you're like, yeah, I haven't eaten enough vegetables. So you kind of adjust your dinner and say, yeah, I'm going to take that out and I'm going to add some extra vegetables. It's really, really super simple and so effective. It keeps you eating whole foods, healthy foods. You can't really do the packaged stuff on it, so it kind of takes you more towards that whole food type of thing, and that's where you get a lot of the results. I tell people, don't go buy PiYo and eat whatever you want and expect to get the results that you see us get in the test group. It's just not going to happen, right? Anything to add to that, Dennis, Julie?
And that goes with all of our programs. I mean, you need to be just as dedicated with, pressing play as you would be with, meal prep and following the meal plan. I mean, you hear it all the time, and I used to preach it, and then, it's really easy to preach this stuff sometimes and not follow it, but it is all about the nutrition. I mean, these workouts are amazing, and you will feel better from doing them, but you can't eat like crap, okay? The results are going to get there whenever your nutrition is spot on. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I love Mexican food, okay, and I love frozen yogurt, and we eat out all the time, but do things in moderation, okay? I'm not saying you have to be perfect for 60 days, because Lord knows that would be really hard for us, for me, because I really love guac and chips, guys, I'm telling you. But, for the most part, it was spot on, and, I pressed play just like I was supposed to. And while, I didn't lose 10 inches, I lost almost 10 pounds, and I lost a few inches, but I really didn't have that much to lose to begin with. But yeah, just make sure you do your best, with the nutrition as you would pressing play.
Yep, totally agree with that. That's awesome. Now let's move on to Shakeology. Do you have to drink Shakeology while doing PiYo? I think all three of us would answer that question with a no. You do not have to do Shakeology while you're doing PiYo. I will tell you the reasons why I think it's beneficial, and the reasons why I did it, and the reasons why I think you should do it. And that is, when you're going through the nutrition plan on PiYo, I talked about how you have this many servings of proteins to eat, and this many servings of vegetables, and this many servings of secondary, and all these different things. Shakeology, because of all the stuff that it has in it, and because it's all good food and not a bunch of chemicals and junk, they actually say in the plan that you can use Shakeology to replace, I think, 3 or 4 of like the 6 categories that you can take something out of. So that means that if you're short on vegetables for the day by a serving, you can drink Shakeology and take care of that vegetable serving. You don't have to cook up some green beans or some kale or something like that that maybe you don't have in the house, maybe you don't want to eat. I don't know. I really am about eating real food. So I don't like to be like, this is essential that you eat this and but what I do know is that it helps me stay on track, and it adds a little bit of convenience with something that I can stand behind. Not something that I'm compromising, but something that I can stand behind. And when you can find something like that that adds convenience to your life, but it doesn't have a compromise, like, well, now I'm compromising because I'm drinking, artificial sweeteners, and now I'm drinking chemicals and stuff like that. It's good quality food, then why not? I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. Is it's like it helps me be successful, and it helps also. I think the main thing too is that it fills in nutritional gaps for me, because I don't track manganese intake or vitamin B intake or some silly thing like that. I don't track that. I'm lucky if I can track carbs, protein, and fat and calories through the day in MyFitnessPal and actually get all my food in there. I'm not tracking down to all those little nutrients. So when I take Shakeology every day, I know that those little nutrients are covered and I don't have to worry about them. So those are my reasons for taking Shakeology. I love it. I'll continue to drink it. I have for 4 years. What do you guys think?
Well, for me, it's been, I guess, 3.5 years. And, whenever I said earlier that I've lost 100 pounds, I'm a firm believer that I wouldn't have done it in those 9 or 10 months, if it weren't for Shakeology. I mean, I believe that we're better off with it. I know that, people are better off with it. It's a great tool. It's not the only way to lose weight. It's only 160 calories, and it's a small part of the daily diet. But, we believe in it, and we recommend it. And whenever I do drink it, my body notices. And it's like my body throws a little tantrum, and it wants it, and it craves it. And then I feel like crap whenever I don't drink it. And, everywhere we go, if, we like to travel, if we're on the road, I bring packets of the stuff with me, and I bring a shaker cup just in case. I may have to go inside of a store, and buy some almond milk or something like that. I don't care. It's still cheaper than the majority of things out there, and it makes me feel way better than a lot of the stuff too.
Right. Okay, so that's great. That's right in line with a lot of the stuff that, a lot of my reasons too. And so we've kind of told you what our reasons are for taking it personally, but also all 3 of us are elite coaches that have hundreds of customers who take Shakeology as well. And I could tell you, I don't want to go into a whole bunch of stories here because we have so many questions to cover here. But if you want to hear some stories about how Shakeology has helped someone, I can tell a whole bunch of stories, from my dad to my brother to people who I met on Facebook who wanted to try Shakeology, or I got them to, get into a fitness program and Shakeology, and the things that have changed and helped because of Shakeology is amazing. We have hundreds of stories. It's not just me, not just Dennis and Julie. We've got hundreds. So we're going to leave Shakeology alone for a little while, and we're going to talk about some of these other questions now. First one that I want to talk about is, what is the time commitment? So why don't you guys take that one? What do you think? What do they have to commit to make it through 8 weeks of PiYo, daily commitment type stuff?
Go for it.
Okay, well, time commitment for me, you start off with PiYo, and a lot of people felt like the workouts were so short in the beginning, 18, 20 minutes long. Some people thought that they should longer. I was on board and super happy with the shorter workouts. Because they're not easy. They might be 18 to 20 minutes, but they're a challenging 18 to 20 minutes. At least they were for me. My arms were shaking. But, as the program progresses, you do move up. Nothing is longer than an hour. Everything is less than an hour for the workouts from start to finish. So time commitment at least, less than an hour a day. So no big deal at all.
Right.
The first month I was really surprised about how short they were because, I mean, we have T25, we have P90X3, we have the 21-day fixed workouts. Everything is moving, into I guess a shorter workout arena, which is really nice because people are so pressed for time these days. And they sort of did the same thing with PiYo. And, the first 30 days, I mean, you will not work out over 30 minutes. I mean, it is really, really awesome. And then next month, you go into a different phase. Things get a little bit more difficult, a little bit more challenging, and the workouts get a tad bit longer. But, you're going to be surprised how fast it flows by.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. I think the longest workout is 48 minutes. Mm-hmm. So you're well under an hour still with the longest workout. The shortest workouts are about 18 to 22 minutes, somewhere in there. And just about everything else is right in between at the 30-minute mark. Right in there, 27, 28, 32, 35, right in that range. And so I did an average, I think, in week 3. And in week 3, I averaged 26 minutes working out a day. So I would guess that in say week 5 or 6, when it ramps up a little bit in the second month, that you're looking at more like 34 minutes or something like that, So you're looking at 30 minutes a day, basically, is what you're looking at. A little bit shorter some days, and then the longest days will be about 48 minutes. So that's the time commitment. Effort required. So this question was asked, what's the effort required? Please, 1 through 10, with 10 being insanity. What do you guys think? 10 is insanity. This is a hard question for me. I'll say it's a hard question for me because everyone has different strengths and weaknesses, and for some people, insanity is a 10, and for other people, PiYo is going to be a 10, and insanity is an 8. So that's kind of my take on it. For me, it was an 8, I would say, in intensity compared to insanity being a 10. What do you guys think?
I think month 1, I want to break it down in months, Ryan. Month 1, I'm going to say it was like maybe like a 7, maybe like a high 6. But going into month 2, holy cow, I'm going to say 8 or a 9. And, you talked about people coming in at different levels. I mean, insanity is awesome. I've done it. I'm not very good at that. And I wasn't very good at PiYo either because I wasn't very flexible. I'm like the taller, the bigger, the weightlifter guy. Flexibility has never been my strong suit. I mean, before doing the program, I could bend over and like touch my shins, and that would be painful. Okay. Now I can put both fists on the floor. So it's like I'm going past my toes. It's freaking awesome. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just different level, a different kind of hard, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, for some people, holding plank and downward dog and all that kind of stuff for hours on end, no, not hours on end, but for, long periods of time is very difficult. For me, the flexibility and stuff wasn't that big of a deal, so I didn't struggle with PiYo where Dennis did, My arm strength was not that great when we got started. Tricep push-ups, things like that were really difficult for me. But by the end, I could do them on my toes. But for Dennis, the push-ups, where I was absolutely dying, he was just pumping them out like no big deal. And then I could do the downward dog and the splits and all the different poses you do in downward dog without an issue, where he kind of struggled with the flexibility there. So I just think everybody will find it difficult in their own way. But it's by no means a simple program or one that I would say this is just an easy, breeze through.
I'll tell you this, if we're comparing insanity to PiYo here, I sweat more with PiYo, if that tells you anything. Okay, so insanity, crazy workout. I mean, I'm at a 10, maybe a freaking 20. I don't know. It's really hard. But with PiYo, I sweat more.
Yep.
So, and I love that,
Just
and it's nowhere near the impact of insanity.
it is such a different intensity. That's why I say this is such a hard question for me, because like you were talking about push-ups, if you're someone who struggles with upper body strength and wrist flexibility and push-ups and things like that, this is going to be probably a 10 for you, but it's also not going to be something that probably injures you, like that kind of too hard for you. It's going to be something that's going to challenge you and push you to get better where you're weak. But you're going to need some upper body strength to get through it. You're going to have to modify some of those push-ups and those positions that require a lot of upper body or a lot of core strength. If you have trouble with squats and leg stuff, there's tons of that in here. So, like the workout I was saying I just did the other day was buns. There's tons of leg work in there. You're going to do squats and lunges for 30 minutes. And if you have trouble with that, it's going to be challenging for you. But you're not going to jump up and down and have to tuck your knees into your chest 3 feet off the floor or anything like that. So, it's gentle on you, but it is going to be intense. It's such an oddly different thing than insanity. So I hope that answers your question to you who asked what the effort required was. Let's see. Is any equipment required? No. No equipment required unless you consider a yoga mat equipment. And actually, that's not even technically required either, but I would recommend a yoga mat. Anything else? There are some workouts that use shoes. Nobody actually asked that, but we'll kind of consider that equipment. There's some workouts where they're wearing shoes. I still did not personally. I don't usually wear shoes even in insanity and stuff like that, but there's some workouts that you can use shoes in, and they do in the workout videos. And then a lot of them are on a yoga mat with no shoes, like you would imagine yoga or Pilates normally is done. I believe there are going to be some advanced workouts that use slides, and that will have that one piece of equipment, but I don't have the information on that yet. I don't know. I just have seen some little tidbits here and there. They have not given me that information unless you guys have anything on that.
That's news to me, buddy.
I've seen some little promo things here and there where you see some plastic. They look like plastic plates you'd see at a barbecue, and so you might slide on these things or something like that. But that was not in any of the workouts that we did in the test group. No slides or anything, and no. So I'm guessing that that's what's going to be the basic program, and there's probably going to be some advanced or elite or whatever they're going to call it workouts that have some equipment like slides, but it's very minimal, if any, equipment required. Let's see. Do you have to have done Pilates and yoga before you do this program? I'll let you guys take that one.
No.
Okay, so like I said, I'm a P90X grad, did like 3 or 4 rounds of it. I can't remember, I did it so much. I skipped every yoga workout for the entire time because it was 90 minutes long. I despised yoga. Whenever I moved on to X3, it was 30 minutes of yoga. That was more doable. It was 30 minutes of Pilates. I could get through that, but honestly, there were a lot of times where I skipped that too, if I'm just being honest. But so I'm basically, coming into PiYo with 0 experience with yoga and with Pilates, and I survived.
Yeah, and I've done Pilates before, but the Pilates that I've done was, it was not really, I wouldn't really say that any of it was much like what we did in PiYo. Is totally different. So, really, I guess you could say I had 0 experience with either two,
right?
Because it was just so different.
So I've had very little experience with Pilates, a little bit, a couple of videos, never live. I've done probably 2 or 3 live yoga classes. I've done P90X, P90X2, and P90X3 yoga, a little more than Dennis, who's a total yoga slacker, but I've done it a little more than that. I actually kind of enjoyed yoga during my P90X stuff, but I wouldn't consider myself by any means a yogi or anything like that. I think this is a good point to really reiterate how different PiYo is than Pilates and yoga, because even I have a video on YouTube where Chalene Johnson talks about when she did our national wake up call. I pulled some of that off and put it out on YouTube, and that audio, she talks about how one of the only things that she regrets about PiYo is calling it PiYo because everybody thinks it's just Pilates and yoga, and although there's a lot of inspiration from Pilates and yoga there, and it's definitely, you can see the flavor of Pilates and yoga there, the movement of it is all its own. It really is the way it flows, and it goes from 32 counts to 16 counts to 8 counts and speeds up, and all the things that happen in it. It's like, you don't have to have Pilates and yoga experience. It would help if you had some PiYo class experience, actually, because then you would know the kind of flows, but you really don't need any experience, in my opinion. You just come in and do it. It's so gentle. You're probably not going to get injured or anything from it. It's nice and low impact, so just get in and do what you can, follow the modifier, and I think you're going to be fine. So I'm going to say no, you don't need the Pilates and yoga before. Any other comments on that?
No, I think that's good.
Okay, so let's see. Here's a good one. Should I use E&E and R&R with any of my workouts? So for those that don't know what those are, E&E is a pre-workout made by Beachbody. So it's kind of like, some of the more big name brands out there that you would see in GNC is like No Explode and Jacked, I think, is another one, stuff like that. These are pre-workouts that you take, 30 minutes to an hour before your workout, and it's full of caffeine and other energy type things that just get you pumped up to go work out. R&R is results in recovery formula, which was originally formulated for P90X and was intended to be an after workout drink so that it would replenish glycogen stores in your muscles and things like that after hard workouts. Well, what do you guys think? Should they take E&E before any of these workouts? Let's start with E&E.
Yeah, I did. Absolutely. I mean, just because, and I don't know how many scoops you take, Ryan, but I love E&E. And, and I'll just drink that stuff straight. It's really, really good.
Dennis might not be the one to answer this question because the answer is yes to E&E for everything.
You take some before you go to bed too, or what?
Yeah. Want to get a good sleep.
But I take a couple of scoops before every workout, and before a bike ride or something like that. Before this call, just kidding. But yeah, I do love this stuff, and it's not required. I mean, and some people don't need E&E, but I feel that it helps me with stamina and endurance, and it doesn't. A lot of people have taken pre-workouts in the past, and I know that I have before, that they give you the jitters and your heart's just beating all crazy, and it makes you feel funny and really mess up your workout. And E&E doesn't do that for me. Right. We do stand by Beachbody stuff and how all natural everything is, and E&E is one of those. So it's something that I really trust and I recommend to a lot of people. But the answer is yes.
Okay.
So I don't ramble on anymore. So.
I think that I would say yes in most cases. Some of the shorter workouts, if you're doing them by themselves, maybe not. It also depends on what you're trying to get out of that particular workout. I think sweat and drench, the longer workouts, there's some really high intensity stuff in there, and I think E&E can help you focus on that more, and I think that's definitely good. I think buns and sculpt and strength intervals are all good candidates for E&E. I'm not sure personally if I would take it before lower focus and upper focus, because they're the really short workouts, and I don't find them quite as intense as the other workouts, but that's just me. You certainly could get a good focus and some energy to go do it. I'd also, I think, would depend for me on how the day's going, and when I do my workout compared to when I eat. If I've eaten recently, and I'm feeling energetic and good at the time, then I might not take E&E. If I'm feeling like I might skip my workout, I might go grab some E&E and make it into my workout. So, but what about results in recovery? What do you guys think about that?
That's another product that I love, and typically if I was doing like an X3 workout or Insanity or something like that, then I would take a full 2 scoops of Results in Recovery. With PiYo, honestly, I cut it down to 1 scoop, and sometimes, if not Results in Recovery, maybe I was a little bit hungry after my workout, I would drink Shakeology. So it really depends on what time of the day, because sometimes our lives are so unorganized and crazy that I don't work out at the same. Even though we work from home, I don't work out at the same time every day. Sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes it's in the afternoon, and depending on what the kids are doing, and what we're doing. So sometimes it was 1 scoop of Results in Recovery. Sometimes it was a Shakeology, immediately following it.
Okay, so I think it's sounding like pretty much they're good candidates for E&E and R&R, just like any other workout that we have. Pretty much they're just about as good a candidate for taking those things as most other workouts are. T25, P90X3, you're doing those workouts, you're taking E&E and R&R, then this will go right along with that, I think. Let's see. Let's talk about injuries for a little while. This is not something that I would, we're not doctors or physical therapists or chiropractors or anything like that. So just as a disclaimer, don't take anything that we say as any kind of medical advice, but some people have asked how much and how easy would it be to modify for an injury? And then, is it okay for people with back issues? So I'll just say, to start with, the back issue question is difficult to answer because there's lots of different types of back issues, and it could be. Now, if someone has a tight lower back, which a lot of people have, or tight hamstrings that are pulling on a lower back and causing lower back issues, I personally think this is a great option for them because I've had those issues before, and when those issues go away for me and I'm much more flexible and feel good is when I get flexible to be able to reach past my toes, like you were talking about, Dennis. When I get my hamstrings to work properly, they stop pulling on my lower back, and then I don't have the lower back pain and the lower back stiffness when I get up out of bed and the lower back stiffness when I get off my triathlon bike and all that kind of stuff. So I think if that's the kind of back issue that you've got, then this is a great candidate because it's going to make you more flexible. If you've got slipped discs and various other things that require chiropractic care, then I would recommend you go talk to your doctor first of all. But this is not going to be jumping up and down and having impact on your back. So in that sense, it's better for that. What do you guys think about injuries? Have you, either of you have injuries or anything in that sense that you can relate with?
Well, I wouldn't say it's an injury, but I'm 5'11", which is pretty tall for a female. And so for most of my life, I have had a tendency to slump a little bit, or stand, and to make myself appear shorter. I haven't done that in years, but it's been that. And so my alignment, a lot of people said after they saw my pictures after PiYo that they noticed that my alignment just looks better. Like I'm standing taller, I'm standing straighter, and and I've noticed it, the way that my back feels, the way that I hold myself up is a little bit different. So it's definitely helped there. And, slumping or, leaning or whatever, I mean, that does cause back pain and shoulder and neck pain. And I just don't have that anymore. So, I mean, yeah, my alignment has definitely improved from PiYo. And I can tell a big difference. And it was very noticeable to a lot of people in my pictures, that I looked like I was straighter, they said.
Right.
So.
I actually have that as a question on here. Someone asked, I've seen several pictures of the test group and was wondering if all of them have improved their posture, or are they just sitting a little taller after completing the workout? Because I think they saw your pictures and maybe Anna Gray's pictures and a couple others, and they said, man, the posture seems like it's improved in the pictures. So
for sure. And it's been noticed by people even outside of my PiYo results pictures. People will see me and they'll say, you just look good, like you look straighter, or you're standing differently. I mean, you just look different. So maybe I was just a hunchback before, I don't know. But
Okay, well, I've had a couple people ask me, Dennis, were you going to say something? You got something
Well,
on
just to
the
go along with the whole back thing, I was a cop for 12 years, so I sat in a car with a 35-pound duty belt around my waist for 12 years, driving around in the car, and plus I've had multiple car accidents when I was younger. So, my back, it has over the years has taken its toll with damage, and so I guess I've always had like a little, I would call it a trick back. It's like I could make like the slightest movement in the past, and it would just throw itself out. Maybe like a pinched nerve, something along those lines. Hasn't even fazed me. I mean, like I said, I really feel like, I don't know. I remember back, 10 or 15 years ago and how good I felt back then, and it's nothing compared to the way I feel right now. So it's like the back issue is non-existent anymore. It's really nice.
Yeah, and another thing to add to that is Dennis always has headaches in the back of his head, like neck, upper back, like that would cause his head to hurt, and he has not complained about that since he's been doing PiYo. So I really do feel like something aligned or stretched or something got fixed in that process, because his headaches that were a daily thing have went away. So
Right.
Yay.
Well, that's cool. That is very cool. So I'll just say this for, because we talked about backs a little bit, and we just really can't answer that question thoroughly because there's so many different types of injuries. But I think one thing that might help you is to understand that you will be in plank, you'll be in downward dog, you'll be doing squats, and you'll be doing lunges a lot. And you'll be doing things like Warrior 3, Warrior 2, Warrior 1, but you'll be flowing through those, so dynamic movements that you flow through those. So if you want to know if you can do PiYo with a broken wrist, the answer is no. Yes, it's low impact, but you got to be able to be on your wrists, and there's going to be weight bearing there. There's modifications to take some weight off, but I don't think if you have a sprained or broken wrist that's something you could do it with. If you have something wrong with a foot or a leg, where you're wearing a boot or something like that, PiYo's low impact, but no, still you got to be able to do lunges, squats, squatting on one leg, like bowler's lunges and things where you're using your body weight to sculpt your muscles, and so you're going to be putting all the pressure on one leg in proper form and without jumping, so it's very gentle, but still, if you've got an actual injury there, something broken, something strained, it's still going to be. This is not a therapeutic program in that sense. So maybe that helps answer some of that question. I don't know. Let's see. What else do we have here? I haven't been going in order, so now I've got to go through and make sure that I'm getting everything. Let's talk about program combination a little bit, because I know a lot of people have this question. Can PiYo be combined with another program like T25? And then also, can you combine it with running or triathlon training, and if so, how do you do it? So there's a lot right there, but let's talk about, I'll let you guys, we talked a little bit before we went live about this, and I want to hear your perspective on the first time you go through PiYo, and then we'll talk a little bit more about combining it.
All right, so in our family, I'm the fitness nut. I love working out. Julie doesn't like it so much, and that's awesome because she still has had some amazing results over these years. If there's anybody that would say that you need to combine workouts and work out as much as you can, it would be me, and because I love it so much. But with PiYo and honestly any program, I think the first time you go through it, I think you need to trust the process and you need to do PiYo alone just to get a feel of everything and I guess gain experience of it and just trust the process. So at least the first time. Afterwards, after you complete 60 days, maybe you can sub it because here in a little bit, because I'm still doing PiYo alone, I'm going to be doing a variation of Body Beast and PiYo together, and because I love weight training, but I love feeling flexible and stronger and and in that sense. So.
Yeah, and I would say the same thing, only because the doubles workout is not in my vocabulary. I will do the workout that the schedule tells me to do for that day, period. Like, that's how I follow plans. I'm number one on that. I am not going to overdo anything. And if anything, like, anytime you start a new workout, you always feel like, if you're like Dennis or Greg or whatever, you're like, oh, the first month might be too easy. Well, maybe you think that and you think you want to add something else, but I followed PiYo just as the schedule said, if not a little teeny less on some days than what it said. Maybe I wimped out just a little bit, if I'm being honest, and I still had what I consider to be really good results. And so the process does work if you just will trust it. And then, after you go through it once just for the experience, then if you're a nut, then add something to it. Knock yourself out.
Right. Agreed. I think that's a good thing. The only exception to that I would say is if you are an endurance athlete who's training for a particular race and you want to use PiYo to get your strength and flexibility training in so you're not skipping it, and I'm going to talk specifically next Tuesday night to all the athletes out there on another webinar, and I'll post that link for you guys soon. But that's one exception that I might say, hey, you're already signed up for a marathon that's in September or something like that, and there's no way you can do just 60 days of PiYo and then go back to marathon training, and you want to use it to get more flexible and to get stronger while you're marathon training. Yes, absolutely, you can combine PiYo and marathon training. You can combine PiYo and triathlon training or half marathon training or full Ironman training or whatever you want to do, and I can definitely show you how to do that, and I'm going to do a separate webinar specifically on that. There's no way on this webinar that I can teach you how to do it, but I'm going to come up with some plans. As far as doing it along with T25, Body Beast, P90X3, any of the other programs that we have at Beachbody, I agree with the idea of doing PiYo alone first and seeing what kind of results you can get, and then decide what you want to combine it with. However, I do believe that it can be combined very nicely with some of the other programs. If you enjoy a little more cardio in your life, T25 and PiYo would be awesome. I mean, you're talking about basically still just under an hour of working out every day. If you do most of the PiYo workouts and the T25 workouts, you could do an awesome program like that. The Body Beast, is it the bulks? Is it bulks or which ones are 30 minutes?
The build?
The build,
Bulk phase is a shorter workout.
Oh, bulk phase is the shorter workouts. Yeah, so you can combine with some of those and get 30 minutes of each in there, or you can do opposite days. So you're doing Beast longer workouts 3 days a week, and you're doing PiYo 3 or 4 days a week or something like that. Totally doable, because PiYo is just not going to give you that. I think the impact ones are the ones you want to really be careful with, trying to do doubles and stuff on, because it just destroys you and you can really get injured doing that kind of stuff. So yes, you can combine it, but we all seem to recommend do it by itself first and see what it can do for you before you go trying to combine it with other stuff. Covered that. Any equipment can be combined with weight training and cardio workouts. We covered that. Got that. Okay, the only thing that I have left on here is age limitations. Could my 75-year-old mom do this?
I mean, I think it depends on your 75-year-old mom.
Yes. Very true. It's a hard question to answer.
But
if your 75-year-old grandmother or mother is running 5Ks and 10Ks, and maybe she just completed a round of P90X3, then absolutely. Or maybe she just got finished doing Tai Chi and she did perfect and she was okay and she wants to step it up, then I couldn't see why not. Because here's the thing that hadn't been mentioned yet, and I don't think it has, is PiYo has a modifier. Her name is Michelle, and she's awesome. And I mean, even though PiYo is low impact, the modifier takes it one step further to make it even more less impact. So I see no reason why she couldn't follow Michelle the modifier and still do a really, really great job.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if she's reasonably active, I think she could at least do the modifications and then work herself into more if she can. So I don't think there is really much of an age limit. I mean, there obviously is ultimately an age limit, I suppose, but I don't know what that is, and it depends on your activity level and things like that. I think anybody who's moderately active, who's not, I wouldn't recommend for a 75-year-old who has not worked out in 20 years to get up off the couch and do PiYo. It's intense. There's intense stuff in it. You need upper body strength. There's burpees in it, by the way. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't tell people that. We just lost like 20 people that were going to buy PiYo because there's burpees in it, right?
Yeah, burpees. Yeah.
There's not
ever.
They're slow burpees.
They are slow burpees. They're 8-count. They're 8-count burpees. So you're like down to back to up to up. So it's a lot different than Shaun T's burpees. So
you can do like 5 Shaun T burpees during one of these.
Yeah, they're great though. I mean, you can really get your heart rate up really good doing them, and it adds some cardio element to it. So that's why I say it's not just Pilates and yoga, because we do have stuff like burpees in it. You know what I'm going to do right now is go, if you guys got anything else to say, you can go for it. I'm going to go over to the event pages and check for any new questions, because I think we're done with the questions that I had written down, which was a bunch. And we thank you guys for those questions. I hope everybody's getting the information that they wanted out of this. I don't see anything on the Google Plus event page. My Facebook is still trying to figure out how to bring that event page up.
I know what hasn't been discussed yet, and maybe because we can't divulge too much about it, but it's price. And whenever Beachbody releases a product, okay, more times than not, they're going to have it on sale. And I've heard that the same is going to happen for PiYo. It is going to be on sale. You are going to get it at an awesome introductory price. There's even a way to combine, the program, PiYo the program plus Shakeology to get an even awesomer deal. That's not even a word, awesomer, but to get an awesomer deal.
I think it's a word.
And saves probably like, I don't know, $80-$90, whenever you combine the two.
Right.
So if you want to get the maximum, results and save the most amount of money, it would be to get a challenge pack. And
I super highly recommend that as well. Here's the thing. Some of you out there are probably, you listen to us talk about Shakeology at the beginning a little bit, and you're like, yeah, I'm just getting the program. I'm not getting the Shakeology. Here's what I'd recommend to you. You can totally get the program all by itself. I don't think anybody's going to get upset about that. That's for sure. But what I would say to you is, if you're thinking, I'm not too sure about that Shakeology stuff, so I'm just going to buy the program, here's what I would do. I would go ahead and get the challenge pack, try it for the first month, because you get the Shakeology for so much cheaper than Shakeology by itself. Basically, the difference in price, if they put it on sale, which I am 99.9, I would go, if they had it in Vegas to put money on when we're down there next week, I would put money on them putting this on sale for the $140 challenge pack, which means that basically it's $10 more than Shakeology is by itself, which is an incredible deal to get PiYo for $10. Or you could look at it as PiYo's $60 and you get Shakeology for like, I don't know, like 60% of its normal cost. However you want to do the math in your head, right? But I usually look at it as I get PiYo for $10 if I buy this bag of Shakeology, right? Try it out for a month. If you don't agree with us on how it makes you feel and how it helps you during your first month of PiYo, then you cancel it and you don't get any more Shakeology, but you haven't lost a whole lot, and that's what I would recommend to all you guys who are saying, ooh, I want PiYo. Do it in the challenge pack. That's what I would do. So
yeah, because more times than not, people will say, well, or the people who decide, I'm just going to do the program, they get in the group, they see everybody else drinking Shakeology, everybody else enjoying it, everybody else's results, and within 30 days, they're like, okay, just let's do the Shakeology. And so almost always they just end up doing it anyways. So
yeah,
it's worth it.
All the cool kids are doing it.
Of course, it's peer pressure. You know you're going to get peer pressure. Just do it.
It's so good, though. I'm telling you guys, I wouldn't have drank it for 4 years. You know, my story with Shakeology from the beginning was I don't do shakes. I'm not a shake person. I'm not going to try it. I'm only here for the P90X stuff. That's the only reason I'm becoming a coach. I don't want the Shakeology and everything. And I wouldn't even take a look at the bag, and it wasn't until my dad bought it from me. My dad bought it, and he was like, this stuff looks pretty cool. And I was like, whatever, you know, go ahead. I don't care. Buy it. Whatever. I don't drink shakes. And he lost like 30 pounds, and his doctor took him almost completely off of his diabetes medication over the course of 3 or 4 months. He was also working out and eating better too. It's not all Shakeology, right? I mean, I never want to tout it as some kind of like cancer solving drug or something like that. But it helped him eat breakfast, which he doesn't normally eat breakfast, and he enjoyed that for breakfast, and it really helped him. And so that was when I started looking at Shakeology. I wasn't like, ooh, Shakeology, I can make money off of this, and I'm just going to drink it. And you know, I was skeptical, and now I drink it every day. So, guys, got anything else on any of this stuff? Shakeology, challenge packs, any of these other questions?
I don't know. You know, I'm really sick and tired of teasing people with this workout. You know, I'm ready for this to be in the hands of a lot of our friends so they can see what this whole thing is about. You know, yes. And well, I mean, we have felt really privileged to be able to try it. You know, before everyone else gets access to it. But I'm really ready for our friends to feel just as good as we do from it.
Yep. So I got to say, I totally agree with you on that because, and sorry for the delay there, I was checking the event pages again. So I know it totally looked like I was like, what, huh? But yeah, I mean, I do, nobody ever listens to Dennis anyway, you know, so wow. I agree. I've got so many people who are just like, oh my God, can they just release this thing? Because we've been in this test group, and I've never experienced being in a test group before, but it's probably like this for all of them where, you know, you're going through this thing for 8-10 weeks, whatever, and you're getting people hyped up about it because you're loving it, and you can't give it to them. And they're all like, when is it going to be out? I can't pre-order it. I can't do this. I can't do that. And so I'm ready for it to go live, and we're going to have to, I guess, tease them even more because when we get to Summit, we're going to be buying our copies, and they won't get them till Monday. And so there's going to be even more teasing going on. But you guys, it'll be worth the wait. Monday of a week from Monday, basically, you guys on the 23rd are going to be able to order it. Don't be surprised if the website is a little overloaded right there on Monday morning, but we'll get the orders through. Keep in touch with your coach, whoever invited you to come see this video on YouTube or live, whoever your coach is. It doesn't have to be me or Dennis or Julie. Whoever your coach is that invited you to this, go talk to them and make sure that you're getting your orders through your coaches, because when it first comes out, it's only going to be available through coaches. So if you go to teambeachbody.com without going through the coach that invited you, that sale is still going to go through a coach. It's just going to be a random one that gets assigned. So you need to make sure that whoever invited you here, that you go talk to them. If no one invited you here and you just found this video and you want to talk to me or Dennis or Julie, we can get you that information. Just leave us a comment on this video and we'll get you in touch with Dennis, Julie, or myself, and we'll get you hooked up with a copy of PiYo through us. And you'll get some extras. That's the other thing, is when you buy through a coach, there's like extra DVDs that come, some extra workouts that you won't get other places. So make sure you get with your coach, right?
That's right. I'm excited. I'm excited to do it live in person at Summit next week. That is going to be amazing. That is going to be so awesome.
Have you guys gotten certified yet?
No.
No. And you have, haven't you?
I did. I got certified. I'm going to have to learn how to teach to counts. So it's going to be interesting. But I'm going to do it.
I'm more of a student than a teacher.
It's such a great format, though. That's the other thing, you guys, all you guys who are watching, is if you want to try PiYo out before it comes out, you can go take a live class in your area, maybe, if there's one there, but you can go, probably if you Google live PiYo or something, there is a finder for finding a class in your area on the PiYo website. So if you go check that out, you can find out if there's a class in your area, and you will be able to try out a live class, which will be an hour-long class, and then when you get the workout programs, you'll be like 30 minutes. It'll be awesome. So yeah, so anything else from you guys? I think we're done.
Yeah, we'll see you next week in person, my man.
Hey, thank you guys for being on this chat with me and giving me some extra support here and helping me answer these questions. And thank you to everyone who watched and who will watch on YouTube. And we'll see you guys probably live from Summit with some various things on our Facebook pages, posting pictures and videos and whatnot, and then in our PiYo groups. All right.
Sounds good, buddy. Bye, everybody.
Good night.